guys, welcome to my first YouTube video. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do my acrylic freestyle. This is for Valentine's Day. Now I already applied her tips just because it wasn't in focus. I was struggling. Right now I'm prepping her. I'm using the OPI Bond-Aid and the Young Nails Protein Bond. Best duo ever. Don't ask why my shit don't lift. That's exactly why. It's really good. I'm using the Studio Nail Supply nail tips on her in the tapered square. I did kind of take them in just a little bit on certain fingers. You'll see why. It's because I'm going to encapsulate those. Whenever I encapsulate, I always kind of widen the nail without wanting to. And now I'm going in with Valentino's Perfect Nude. This, I kind of added a little bit of classic. It's like a custom mix. It's, I want to say 2/3 perfect, 1/3 classic to give it like a more milky look. Now you're seeing that her nails have a white tip on it. It's because we did a reflective gel polish and I wanted to cover it. I didn't film that because, again, I felt like it was just wasted footage. All I did was paint reflective glitter polish and then put over it with white. Now back to the white polish. Basically what I did is I did the red bottom technique but with glitter reflective polish. It's really pretty. The best polishes for it are the Valentino polish and the NailHause. They're really pigmented, so it's easier to work with. You don't have to go through so many layers since you're going to add acrylic on top of it. Now here I'm going to do a French acrylic finger. The best technique I found, or the best way to do it, is have your consistency be more like a Play-Doh. Have a drier bead, a little bit more wet than you would do a 3D. So easy to mold. You don't have to chase it. It's not running everywhere. You can mold the sides super high up. And the monomer I use either Studio Nail Supply, the NailHause monomer, or the Not Polish monomer. I'm actually using the Not Polish monomer right here. It's slower drying. You do get more move time with it, so I definitely recommend it for beginners. As you can see, I'm still molding the nail well past 30 seconds of applying the acrylic. Okay, so right now I'm going in with NailHouse's HBIC. Best glitter acrylics, best regular acrylics in the world. I love the formula. It's really buttery, and what I like about this specific one is the glitter doesn't get stuck in my brush. So I don't have to have a separate monomer dish to finish a whole set. It's not going to affect when I go back in with my nude or my clear. Now this is more of a jelly look. You can see through and see the white behind it. I love that because it's so versatile. You can do it and paint different colors or do ombres with it. You'll have so many different looks. Because it is a buttery consistency and it does dry a little bit slower, I can go ahead and just go straight in with my encapsulated hearts. It honestly adds for a quicker full set, and I do kind of work slow, so it really has helped speed up with using these acrylics. And you can also perfect your one bead method because of them. So now I'm going in with Candy Pink, also by NailHause. As you can see, I can use a way bigger bead and mold it. It's easier to see the consistency when it doesn't have glitter. So you can see that it's buttery, it doesn't really move, it's super smooth. Now with this one, I will say you slowly have to pat and drag it down. Don't do a bunch of swiping. You're gonna have it stuck in your brush if you use it the wrong way. Not all acrylics are made the same. I do see reviews on people with certain brands with that issue, and that's all it is. You have to mold it down like how if you're molding a poly gel or something. But to me, it's easier to use, especially for beginners. You perfect your one bead method like that, then you get your cuticle bead and you're straight. Like, it's so nice and it's so pigmented. I've never had an issue with these, like, not being shady, but other acrylic brands, sometimes their pigments aren't mixed fully and I'll have patches, then it'll ruin a set. I'll do a perfect application, then I look at it and I'm like, damn, there's a streak of red or a streak of white. So you're not gonna have this issue with these. They're just so pretty. Like, ugh, look at that. You know, use code SINFUL, linked in bio. Now here I'm gonna take my 180 file. I use the 100 side and I go ahead and just refine my French. Now if you do kind of nick the white, don't stress it, you're not even gonna see it. You're only nicking that first little layer of the polish. You still have the reflective underneath it. Don't stress it, you're fine. So as you can see, when I file, I hold my file parallel to the sidewalls. That is the easiest way to get such a sharp and crisp shape. Now some nail techs do not do this, but I do it at this step. As you can see, I kind of buff the top of it. Now let's say my application isn't perfect, because you know I'm not perfect. It'll prevent my drill from skipping and, God forbid, nicking my nail, nicking my client. Sometimes when your drill skips, you could like nick a little hole in the nail and then your acrylic could look patchy. Just hand file, hand buff it, makes the world so much easier. I also kind of go underneath because some straight tips do kind of have a dip, especially when they're the square. Sometimes I will clip them off or I'll just wait and file them. So I just go ahead and I go underneath it, make sure everything's sharp and clean. You want to always keep constantly turning your nail to the side. You want to make sure it's smooth, so when you go through it with your drill, you're really only hitting the cuticle and just slowly buffing it out. Just make sure your hand filing is on point, especially for beginners, and everything will go so much smoother for you. I know drills are a little bit, you know, like a little intimidating for some people. So that's my little tip. Hand file to perfection. If you cut yourself with the thing, I definitely recommend getting some self-adhesive gauze wrap it around your fingers. Best tip in the world. Also, I forgot to mention the files that I use specifically are by Aggalore and Co. I'm gonna link them. They're the best files ever. They're definitely worth the money. They're not even that expensive, but my shaping and my nails have gone like 1,000% better since I started using them. I will definitely link them in the bio. Not sponsored, just amazing. Now, the drill bit that I used a fine grit 5-in-1 barrel bit. You can find these at Studio Nail Supply or at any nail supply, honestly. I like them because the very tip, the smallest point of the bit, is super small and it's not super sharp. You can get right in your cuticle, seal your nail, refine your C-curve, and the bottom of the bit, it gets a little bit more coarse, so you can go ahead and cut down any bulk or refine the nail, even it out. It's just such a good bit. And because I get the fine, some people think that the grit is not high enough, but contrary to popular belief, it's more than enough. Your application and buffing should have your nail just as smooth, and then all this is really doing to me is evening it out and buffing the nail. Go ahead and cleanse her nails. I'm using the Young Nails swipe and a manicure brush. I like these. They're disposable. I use them probably only 3 times per client and then throw them out. I don't play that shit when it comes to bacteria and fungus. I do soak them in bleach. Best thing ever. Now with this swipe, I use it because on this side of my house I don't have plumbing. It's an extra bedroom and the bathroom's all the way on the other side, and it's just quicker. That way also I can monitor my client. They're not going in their hair and putting hair oil on them, or they're not putting lotion on. That'll affect the top coat. So if you're home based or salon based, swipe is it. If you do see a little bit of a white cast, it's because you let it air dry, used a lot. Anything with alcohol will do that. Just go ahead and wipe it off. You'll be fine. Sometimes you top coat it, it'll go away if you don't want to wipe it off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do her bling design. I'm using a combination of Swarovski and Preciosa crystals. I only use Zule adhesive. Probably got like 5 of them on deck. She lives in Cali and I'm in South Florida, so the shipping is ridiculous. So you know, I gotta stay stocked with my girl. It's the best thing ever. You can even get big ass kawaii charms and they will not come off. So this pinky actually is inspired by Rihanna's little pregnancy reveal. Super cute. The chain is from Michael's in the little jewelry making section. You know, you don't only have to go to nail supplies for products. Sometimes they're cheaper going to a craft store. You can find stuff at the dollar store. You don't have to, you know, be discouraged to do art if you really can't afford stuff at the nail supplies. Girl, go to Michael's. They're like $1. Now I'm going ahead and, you know, adding my larger charms. Now with these larger charms, I am telling you right now, you need to go ahead and top coat the gold. That gold will rust, it will turn. It's, you know, it's gonna happen when you wash your hands. Any kind of gold you ever do on bling, always top coat it. Just never top coat your stones. Now I'm going in with my NailHause top coat, best top coat. It's thick, it don't move, it's non-wipe. I love it. It's glossy. I just never have issues with it. It's not. I used to use a thinner one, the D&D. Not hitting on it, just not a fan of it. That way you can top coat around the stones, and the stones itself, it won't bleed onto them. Just such a good product, as you can see. Just oof, look at that shine, girl. Please go shop now.